these guys? How's it been so far?
It's been great. The Devils are a first-class organization. I actually came up to Binghamton last year to watch Brett Cini play and witness firsthand the enthusiasm of the community behind the Binghamton Devils. It is nice to be able to know a couple guys when we're out there. A couple weeks ago I couldn't have said that. We also have some new guys too. So first day, I thought we had a really good effort. There's some good young talent out there. I think we've got a good mix of vets as well, and excited.
How would you describe your coaching style?
It's a good question. I'd like to think I'm fair. I've treated players like adults even at the collegiate level, so it's not going to be much of a difference for me. I like to empower people. So, these are pros. They're expected to do their job. At the end of the day, I'm here to help develop players for the parent club, but part of that development process is winning. You want to make sure that you're building a culture, a winning culture. And so I think sometimes when you talk about development, people think that you're not here to win. That's not the case. We want to win, but part of that is developing players. So hopefully, I know we've got the resources here. I think I'm one small part of that to help these guys achieve their goals, and hopefully, as I'm looking here at the banners here, there's a lot of them. It'd be nice to put another one up.
It's obviously still very early, but what's the transition been like from you coming from a small school like Merrimack to the AHL level?
You know what? Once you're inside the glass, it's all the same. I recognized that last Monday. I'm on the bench in Montreal, and the ice is the same dimension. It's sub 32 degrees. It's hockey, and a lot of the things that we talk to our players about, we're talking to these players about. The only difference is their abilities are a little bit higher, so they can adjust a little bit quicker, but very similar concepts. Hockey's a pretty simple game, or I wouldn't be able to coach it.
Now, personally, for you, having this, getting fired from Merrimack, but having this opportunity kind of present itself, is this one of those everything really does happen for a reason moments?
You know what? I firmly believe, and I said to Ray Shiro and to Fitzy, that life is 10% what happens to you and 90% how you react to it. And that's actually what we talked to the players about today is, I didn't think 4 months ago that I'd be in Binghamton coaching at the AHL level. But with that said, I also feel I'm ready for it. I feel like everything that I've done up to this point has prepared me for this. This is an age group that I'm very comfortable with. I remember we were in New Jersey for the prospect stuff, and they were doing strength testing. And I said to one of the development guys, he said, it looks like a room full of freshmen, because a lot of the freshmen I had were 19, 20 years old. So I'm very comfortable with this age group.
What about, this is really just kind of the start of players coming here to Binghamton. There's a lot more, I'm sure, coming in the next week or so. What's kind of the time frame as far as additional people? Yeah,
I don't know, and that's one of the things that's a little bit different in the pros is I don't get to shop. I'm at the grocery store, right? They give me the ingredients and I work with it. So again, like I told the players today, we can't be worried about depth charts. We just have to do our job. So I'm going to coach the guys that are here to the best of my ability, and there'll be guys that come down. I'm going to do the same for them. It's my responsibility to each of those players to hopefully give them the type of guidance and set the type of standard where they can achieve their goals.
Now, I know depth was lacking a little bit last year. When you look on paper, how does the depth look this year?
Yeah, you know what? I don't know much about last year except the one game I saw, and we won. So I'm 1-0. The Binghamton's 1-0 when I'm in the building. So again, it's all relative. I'm going to rely a lot on Sergey, who's been in this league for a number of years, to sort of give me a sense. I think we've got, like I said, a good mixture of young, talented players and talented veterans, some guys that really care about this, and I know that they're eager to perpetuate that culture that already exists in New Jersey, that John Hines has gone a long way to create. We're going to piggyback off that. If anything, I'm a good thief, so we're going to steal what they're doing and bring it down here.
What are your thoughts on the city of Binghamton so far?
Yeah, it's great. Like I said, I've only been here 3 or 4 times. I snuck in here last week, and I was actually, my grandmother's grew up in England, and Ringo Starr was in the building. So we had Ringo and Bingo, and he was using the players' lounge as a dressing room, and I got to move some of my stuff, and I could literally hear his voice. So it was a big day for me. I got to hear Ringo's voice, and then I ate at Wegmans. So it was a big day for me.
I wasn't here for all of practice, but every time I looked over, you were out there smiling. What do you love so much about being here and coaching?
You know what? It's just being on the ice. It brings you back to being a kid. You know, I've heard it described as, you know, when the cold air hits your face and you're out there moving around. This is the second best time of year. This and playoffs. Playoffs is the best time, and both happen to start. You start 0-0, but. No, it's just great to be out there. It brings you back to when you were a kid and you were playing on the pond or playing street hockey. So I've got a passion for the game, and I think these guys too have it as well. And if my passion and Sergei and Ryan and Ian's passion can be infectious, then so be it.
No, I know it's very, very early, but what can the fans, the community, really look forward to in this year's Binghamton?
Well, to reiterate, I think we've got a good mix, but when you have, I think we're going to have a fair number of younger players. You're going to see a lot of development. You know, there's going to be ups and downs early, and that happens the same for every team. But it's more about, you know, how are we playing in the end. You know, you want to be playing your best hockey in the end, and I think if you do a good job with a young team, that's what happens. You're going to have to weather the storm early because there's going to be highs and lows, but you'll start to see around Christmas time those highs and lows get a little bit closer. And then if you're doing it right, you're playing your best hockey in January, February, and onward.
Coach, you said you were here at CD's first goal. What did you notice about the fans and kind of right on top of you here at the
Yeah, I mean, at that point, they knew that the playoffs weren't in sight, and they still showed up in droves, and they were passionate. And I know it was a big win, but they were boisterous, they were loud. And just, you know, even though I had never been to a game in Binghamton, I've been around hockey enough to know how good a hockey town this is. I mean, there probably isn't anybody that I know that's played pro at a high enough level that hasn't played a game here. You know, the sheet is probably a little smaller than some of the other sheets in the league. I'm very comfortable with that. Merrimack's ice sheet was tiny. It was probably the smallest in college hockey. So I know from talking to a number of people this can be a home ice advantage, and that's what we hope to make it.